Welcome back to Fiction Fridays. Today is a sequel. So I absolutely loved book one. It was An Elderly Lady is Up to No Good, and now we have An Elderly Lady Must Not Be Crossed. So this is not quite as good, honestly, as the first book, and you do need to read these in order because it does go off of the events of book one. They're not just random stories, they are definitely tied. And this is more of like a concise story, where the other one just felt like kind of random little stories. This is more of like an actual book where you have a continuous timeline, it's the building up to things, but it's still so good. I absolutely love Maud. I think she is hilarious. So if you didn't read the first book, there's gonna be a lot of spoilers just leading from that book, so like you should go read that one and then talk a little bit before this. And then if you've read it, we'll have a bigger discussion in the spoiler section. So from the last book, remember how she murdered the dude in her father's like gentleman room or whatever? Yeah, it's not going away this time. And so the way she's handling it is she is in this book going on her like trip to, I can't remember all the places. I think it was somewhere in like South Africa. I don't know if it was that country. I think it was different countries around in there, but like that continent, just like traveling around. But in this book, she's trying to get away from them, and there's a lot more backstory. We learn a little bit more about her sister, and we get to know some of the details and some of her murderous ways long before she became an old lady. And I love Maud. She's like, minus the murdery bits, like totally goals for being old, where she like is totally coherent and there, and like she can still hear very well, and like she's still pretty like mobile, all things considered. She's almost 90 and like she's doing great, and like that is truly goals. And I love her sass, I love her attitude, and there was a few turns that like I anticipated to going worse than it did, and like it was just, and others I didn't anticipate at all. This was still a really good book. I do think I liked the other one better, but this is not to say this is a bad book. Like, if you liked the first one, you will probably like this one too. I don't think there's gonna be a book after this. I haven't looked, but I don't think there is. It kind of felt like it was concluded at this point. But yeah, it was a really good book. So now let's move on to the spoiler section, because that's where all the fun is for this book. So spoilers, I love how murderous Maud is. Like, even an old lady with the tour guide dude just like whacking him upside the head a few times with her cane, like with enough force that like serious damage. I love that. Now like I know that like maybe there's a little suspending of belief here, because like could an 89-year-old, almost 90-year-old do that? I don't know. But like I love the idea of this, and like how there are cameras able to catch her but they haven't been able to catch him and all of his shenanigans. I don't know. Also, I thought that the like potion thing, the elixir of life or whatever, I thought that was gonna be poison. Like the whole time I'm like, who is she poisoning? Who's gonna get poisoned? What's gonna happen? And then it never happened, and it was like, oh. Also, I do love the idea that she decided to give the dude the almond gingerbread cookies. That was interesting. I do wonder if you would be able to smell it, because like almond flour is not the same, at least in the recipes I've used, as regular flour. But I do want to try the recipes around Yule this year, because like that's fun. And also I loved the little text with at the end here with the gingerbread cookies of like, try freezing them if you have leftovers, or share them with friends or nosy detectives who show up at your door completely unannounced. It's like, I love you. And then this one yields a lot of cookies. Hard to tell how many since they tend to disappear. I love that. That's how I feel all the time. And then it's like, special note, unlike Maud, do not give these cookies to anyone with a nut allergy. Really, do not try any of Maud's antics at home or while abroad. And I'm like, I love this. I love the sass. So anyways, like this is just such a fun book. I really liked getting to see more of her past, and like getting to see how she was a teacher, how she took out the other like, oh, what is the word, like tenured or whatever? The one who has like their like prestige at a university, so like their job is secure. It's really hard to get fired at that point. Just kind of, you know, whacking them upside the head with an ice block thing. Like, she's really vicious. And like her sister, and like I thought she was gonna kill the boys when they were talking about like going into like the boiler room or whatever. I thought she was gonna kill them. I was like going down all of these really dark scenarios because, I mean, book one, that's what we did. And it was kind of a bummer that they didn't die, to be honest. They deserved it. They were assholes. And so I was kind of bummed that she didn't. And like, I still wonder, like, did she push her sister or did the sister just, like, where she's like, well, I don't remember. Like, I could see her easily just being like, okay, problems, bye. Like, and I really want to know, like, the layout of this apartment. Because, like, when I'm thinking of an apartment, I'm thinking of, like, a really small apartment. And it's so hard to think of a really big apartment. Because, like, you don't think big and apartment in one sentence. Like, it's really not a thing. And, like, how they could have, like, their own areas. And, like, I would love to see a map of this potential apartment that she has, let alone the building. But, like, overall, this is just, like, it's such a fun book. I love seeing her travels and her shenanigans. I do think it's a good conclusion to the book and the story. Like, I don't think we need anything more, honestly, because I feel like it would take away, which is strange. But, like, sometimes books just need to exist as they are and they don't need more because it's going to take away. And that's how this one feels. Like, this is a good conclusion. I love that eventually she finds a family and she's able to really take care of them. And like, it's a cute little ending to her like crazy shenanigans. I just love it. So anyways, these are really quick, easy reads. I read this as an afternoon. Like, it's addicting to see what Maud is up to. Like, it's one of those that like, I can't put it down. Even though I didn't like this as much as the first book, both of them, can't put them down. They're still really good. And it does make me curious about the other books from the author. Like, if my library has it, I might possibly go look into them and see if they're as good. Because if this is such good writing, I'm hoping the other ones will be too. So anyways, that is going to be it for our Fiction Friday. I would love to hear if you have read this. What were your thoughts down below? Do make sure to check out my books. I have my trilogy and my latest book, my fourth book, The Death Journey. It is a non-fiction witchcraft book handling death. It is always available linked in the description for my blog. You can find links there. Until next time, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you all soon.